Okay, ladies, here we go again. Happy Friday. I decided today to do a lunch and learn. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, my tech started teching, and God only knows the reasons why. So I'm starting over again with a fresh live. Happy Friday to all of you. I am excited today for a little while to be able to be live and chat. I was sharing with some of the ladies earlier today that I have been moving ever since June. God has been very gracious to me as a business owner, as a leader. In the end of June, I flew to Chicago to speak for Hyatt. So that was one part. And then right after that was Essence Festival and facilitating on educational choice and Ladies First at Essence Festival. And then after that, it's been travel, literally every single weekend for like 6 or 7 weeks straight. And so, because I have been on the move like I have been, I haven't had much time to go live. And then I'm gonna combine this with being able and gifted and honored to serve some really amazing women through coaching and consulting. So we've been having a lot of new clients coming into the Mamathon movement as well. So what do you do when you are so busy? What do you do when you're so busy actually working and doing the things that you said you have been wanting to do and needing to do? Absolutely 100% you show up strong for your family, for your community. And so thank you guys for still rocking with me and following and being a part of what we're building here. I've been excited to see where the conference this year is going. I've been telling everyone for a minute that there is some really beautiful developments that are coming about, and for that reason, I've been very grateful to just soak it all in and walk with you guys forward. Okay, so I'm making sure for real that we are live in all the places before I get to teaching on motivation. Somebody asked me this the other day, and I wanted to be transparent with her, and I'm going to bring this transparency to you guys today too, because sometimes y'all need to know that nobody is out here being a superhero. Like, we are not out here, overperforming, doing the most all the time. There are a lot of days when I feel unmotivated too. Okay. There are a lot of days where I feel unmotivated too. And so I have to channel some of the same things that we're going to talk about today. I have to be able to go in and get those aspects, get those traits, get that resiliency, that relentless pursuit of something amazing. I have to make sure that I go in and grab that and then bring it to you guys as clients, as partners. It's just the ongoing work that has to happen. Okay. And so I'm going to make sure that we are sharing in all of the places today. And we're going to go ahead and just break down for our lunch and learn about being motivated. And somehow, some kind of way, the myth of being motivated, where we feel like there's some kind of surge, some kind of expression, some kind of joy that's supposed to happen to us as we're building, but we look for it to happen all the time. We always want to operate, facilitate, make moves forward from this very heightened, excited, pumped up, overjoyed place in our lives. But I'm here today to tell you that motivation sometimes exits stage left. I'm here to tell you that some days you will not feel the sauce. Some days you will not be excited. Some days you will not be so pumped up about performing and doing the things that you know you really need to do. And that's okay. I'm here to normalize it. I'm here to give you like this digital virtual hug. I'll make sure that we're live in our group. This digital virtual hug, right? Where you might feel like I'm supposed to be somebody different. I'm supposed to be a different way, a different place, a different aspect of myself. Instead, you might just be who you are right now in this season. And can we be okay? Can we be okay with being where we are right now? There will be some days where you're not hyped up. There are going to be some days, hey, everybody, where you don't feel like you want to show up again and again and again. There are going to be those days. So I'm here as your productivity coach to comfort you, to give you this virtual hug and remind you that it happens and it's possible and you can make it to the other side of it, but it's normal. It's totally normal. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you guys some phrases that I have been hearing from my clients. Okay. The reason your girl has been MIA, I have been having the most wonderfully packed coaching days. Like I have several one-on-one clients. So I've been meeting with them all day Tuesday, all day Friday. I had a cancellation today, which I was like, oh, okay, I can go live. But I have had my schedule filled with talking to women who are on the move, women who are coming back from burnout, women who are working on their plan and their strategy, and they want to do more and be more and show up more, but it's a challenge. And so this is all that I've been doing. All of the conversations have been helping to push and to prepare me for right now, but then also where Mamathon is going to go. Okay. So I want you to see if you see yourself in some of what we're going to talk about today. I just want to know if you see yourself. So I've had some clients saying, I'm just not feeling motivated to show up. So I talk myself out of what I know I'm supposed to be doing. I talk myself out of it. Some of my clients are in other countries. Some of them are, when it was a summertime and all the kids were home and all the things, they're like, Christine, I'm still in vacation mode. I'm still summering. Like I feel like because it's summer, I should be able to slow everything down. I should be able to do these things a different way. I don't need to work on my business. I can take the summer off, right? And I was like, well, sure you can. Take the summer off if you want. You can do anything you want to do. But even though it's June or July, let's not look for the fruit that comes from working, putting our seed in the ground. Let's not look for fruit if we haven't been sowing seeds, okay? So some of them were like, I'm still in vacation mode. I'm still in summer mode. I just want to go with the flow. Some of us are talking about like ease. I just want a life of ease. I just want to be able to, show up, not necessarily when I feel like it, but when I feel like it. Okay. Some of us are saying, I just want to feel like, the soft life is for me. Sure it is. Of course it is. The soft life should be for all of us, right? Or there should be areas in our lives that feel soft, comfortable. Our relationships, our homes should feel like they're relaxing and easy, and we have just this envelope, wonderful bubble around us of just love and luxury, right? We should all have areas in our lives that feel that way. Okay, so some of us are like, I'm still in vacation mode. And then one of or a few of my clients, really, hey everybody, they were sharing about how when they go to work on other things, when they go to work on their business or the brand building that they're doing or working on their book or for some of us it's exercise, like anything that takes us away from being a on present mother, it brings up some type of subconscious guilt. Now, you might not identify it as that. I see it still as a form of lack of motivation because we see anything that takes us away from being on for other people as something that's bad. And even more, sometimes the people in our lives, including our children, try to make you feel guilt for having something that is not them. Okay? So we can use some of these reasons to shame ourselves, all because I don't feel like pushing forward past this place. Okay. So I'm sharing the very normal feelings of lack of motivation, not feeling like it, not feeling like showing up, not doing all the things. I just want y'all to know, first off, that that's normal. Okay. But I've been hearing these statements for the last few weeks. And I decided it's not a coincidence. I decided that it's not a coincidence. It's not an accident that we keep having these statements. I think it's because the year is, 2/3 over. We're tired. The summer is summering. It's back to school. Like there's so many things that are happening in such a flurry that we're like, oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. It must be because, and then we insert a specific reason. And I'm here today to challenge the overwhelm, challenge the lack of motivation, challenge the burnout, even, and say, okay, sister, insert your name. Is it possible that you're thinking to be productive or to get things done that you have to have so many layers on top of what you've already been doing? That it has to be so much. It has to be this long list of things, and that there isn't a happy medium between all or nothing. Okay. Some of us feel like I'm either totally on and doing all the stuff, or I'm not doing anything at all. And so one of the ways that I've been kind to myself, that I have been creating ease and flow in my life in spite of having this really crazy coaching schedule, which is amazing, and planning for the conference October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta. Yes, you should be there. Yes, it is a time. Between doing all of this, like planning, I've been taking naps and going to bed early. Yes, I know. I've been taking naps and going to bed early, and it has been so good to me. It's been so good to me. Like this idea of, even when I want to stay up, like my husband was traveling this week, and I was like, I'm gonna stay up late. I'm gonna work, because he's out of town, and I can just click away on my computer. My body was like, no, we're going to bed at 10. And I turned the TV off. I came and got in my bed. I turned my laptop on. I watched a boring show until I fell asleep. I closed, like I just gave myself permission to bring it down. Okay. So sometimes we are fixed in between all or nothing, where we're either totally on, I'm so motivated, I'm so attached to my goal, I'm so ready for the results. We're either there, or we're on the other side of it where we just don't feel like doing nothing. Okay. So I've been hearing these statements and a lot more of them over the summer. And so most of the time, this is where our brains are. Okay. So first, I'm here to normalize not being motivated. I'm here to normalize that it's okay to want ease and flow. I'm here to normalize wanting to do nothing but relax. Okay. I'm here to normalize still feeling like you're in vacation mode and you just don't have the drive to make yourself do what you know you need to do. I'm here to normalize not knowing how to do it, so you just don't do anything. I'm here to normalize wanting to give up. I'm just here to normalize it for you guys. Okay. I want you to know that as a productivity coach, I work with hundreds of mothers over the years, moms in leadership, moms who work in politics, moms who are in media and are actresses, moms who are therapists, moms who are coaches, authors, speakers, you name it. We've all had moments where we feel like throwing in the towel, because surely if this was right for me, it would be easier. It'd be easier. Good afternoon. If it was for me to accomplish, God wouldn't let it be this hard. So now in year 9 of the conference, which y'all got to be there. Like if you have any interest, any questions, DM me after this is over. We're going to feed you good. We have live music, workshop sessions. It's a vibe. Now that I'm in year 9, there's some things that God is unlocking for me that I could never have foreseen 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, when I wanted to quit and never do it again. I listen, like serious quit. I was telling a friend of mine who also has a live event, maybe 6 months ago, we were planning our stuff at the same time. And I was like, I've cried those same tears. I just cried it in year 2. and I learned my lesson. So now I recognize my personal motivation cycles. I recognize when I get excited and overwork. I recognize when I'm underwhelmed, right? And I'm just not engaged in the goal or in the picture. I can see those things. So I'm here to normalize it for you that it happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. Okay, it's normal. All right. So I believe it's all a part of the ebbs and flows of creating something that is so absolutely monumental, that is attached to your legacy, the gift of yourself, the anointing that God has put in your life, his presence in your life that produces big goals. You're supposed to go and do these things. But it's okay that if David in the Bible and Paul in the Bible can feel discouraged, surely you and I can feel the same thing. It happens to all of us. All right. And so we're going to do just a couple of thoughts, and I'm going to give you guys some questions also to journal about in your own time. But all of this is as I'm planning the conference and seeing some new things. I promise you guys I'm going to be coming back live more often. Turn your notifications on. Okay. On the Mamathon Diaries page, turn them on for my personal page, turn them on for the posts in the group, so that when things happen, you guys can see it. I'm not always going to put the day before what time I'm going live. I'll try, but things have just been happening. And so sometimes you guys got to just be in tune and catch on. All right. So when motivation exits, good afternoon. Hey, everybody. When motivation exits, how do you handle it? How do you handle it? Number one, I want you to remember that motivation is an after effect. Motivation is an after effect. It was John C. Maxwell who made this statement that you get to feel motivated, excited, driven, any of that after you start to see the results from a job well done. Everybody hates the gym until your clothes start fitting better. Everybody hates fixing your diet up until your pants start falling off. Everybody hates running until you cross the finish line. Dislikes these things until you get to a significant place where you say, I'm motivated. I feel it inside that I'm really ready to go. All right. But a lot of times it doesn't happen early. A lot of times it does not happen early. And we have to be okay with knowing that motivation is going to happen after I'm done. I'm going to feel really good about myself after the workout. I'm going to feel really proud of myself after the book is done. I'm going to feel really pumped up after I've organized that space or streamlined some things. I'm going to feel really good about myself after this. But maybe it won't happen before. Can we normalize that this is the case? Can we normalize it? This is what happens with many of us is we're looking to feel excited ahead of time. We're looking to feel pumped up before we even get down to the get down. You haven't even been working consistently on this for 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm in a groove now with Mamathon, but it does not mean I don't have to work hard to do the things that need to get done. And am I going to feel excited and pumped up about all of it every time? Maybe not. Maybe not. So let's give ourselves the gift, okay, of remembering that feeling positive, we get to work on our thought patterns and our intentions and our mindsets. But at the same time, sister friend, it might be that you need to tweak how you're looking at it. So remember, okay, I'm going to feel really proud of myself after this is over. I might not feel proud now. I might not feel excited now. Motivation comes after. You feel good about yourself after the workout, after the walk, when your pants start fitting better. That's when you start to feel really good. It is not ahead of time. The burn burns. Okay? So how many times have we been trying to or struggling with, let me get myself adjusted, struggling with feeling good, like you're looking for the good feeling. Are you guilty of looking for the good feeling? Now, I positioned this question once before and everybody started laughing, but it's true. How many times did you date someone? I didn't have a lot of this experience, but I know women who have, where you've dated somebody, you know he's Mr. Wrong. You know he's Mr. Wrong, but it's something about him that just makes you feel so good. Okay, you knew he was Mr. Wrong. Okay, but it was something about it that just made you feel like this has to be it. Like this could work. Something about it made you feel positive, even though it wasn't. Even though he had toxic tendencies. The same thing goes if we have gentlemen watching, and they too feel the same way. Okay, they too feel the same way, that there was somebody, a situation where you thought it was positive and it really wasn't given. Okay, let's just own up to the fact that that can be the case. Let's own up to the fact that that can be the case. All right, so let's look at it. Remember that positivity and motivation and excitement comes after the fact. It may not come before. Okay, number two, because I got a client call in about 20 minutes. Number two, own where you see negativity, pessimism, a poor mindset, uncertainty, fear, worry about disappointment, lack of motivation. These are all feelings that come from the way we think, and that's okay. But pay attention if you are letting your feelings drive the car. Pay attention to, I'm nervous about this because I feel nervous, or because I feel uncertain, or because I don't feel ready. I'm going to let this lack of readiness feeling drive the car for me. And I'm deciding that that feeling, those emotions, those thoughts, that mindset that I have right now is good enough, and I'm going to let it drive the car for me. What would happen if every single time we felt negative, we just shrunk back? There'll be a lot of times in your life where you don't feel ready, but you have the capacity to prepare yourself. Whenever I have a client who's like, I just don't feel like it's time, I don't feel, how do you need to prepare for the major opportunity so when they do call your name, you're good to go? How do you need to prepare yourself? What needs to shift? What needs to change so that it's inevitable? You'll absolutely do it. You'll absolutely make it. You're 100% in. You said, I'm leaning in. I'm all the way there. But there will be times where you don't feel like that. So are you letting negative emotions drive the car? Are you letting negative emotions drive your car? Are you letting I don't feel ready and lack of certainty or overwhelm tell you where you can go? I told one of my clients a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months, she was asking about the conference, and she was talking about how she felt herself very discouraged in some ways. And I said, discouragement is normal. Feeling disappointed or unready is normal. She said, but I know you never feel like that. And I took a sip of my coffee and I almost laughed at the idea that any of you guys could see me as someone who is impenetrable to very human feelings. And I told her sister friend, I said, I quit the conference every year. She's like, no, you don't. I said, no. I'm gonna get comfortable. I said, no. Yes, I do. I quit every year. She said, there's just no way. I said, what makes you think that I don't want ease and flow too? What makes you think that I don't have days where I say my life would be easier if I just chose this other route? What makes you think about me that I never have a day where I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like doing it? Every single day, I have a moment of, I don't feel like being this person. I think I'm going to be somebody else. The only difference between us is I don't let those negative feelings or lack of motivation drive my car. I don't let it drive. Oh, I don't feel like it today. Oh, well, I never really feel like it. Don't feel like working out. Oh, well, y'all see that right there? It's got to go. So I might not feel like doing it. It doesn't mean it doesn't need to get done. You might not feel like being a good parent all the time. You're going to do it. You might not feel like being a good wife all the time. You're going to do it. I hope. You might not feel like being a good employee or showing up in your business all the time, but you should. So in what places in your life are you letting feeling negative or thinking negative or feeling burned out, right? Drive the car. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I just want to say over and over again how I'm drowning. That doesn't make you feel any better. That doesn't help you to get out of the trenches when you feel like you're underwater. That's not helping you. It's okay to own it. But I'm here today for the days when you feel like I'm unmotivated. I don't have motivation right now. I'm here for the women today who say I'm overwhelmed, and you're telling everybody, and that's okay to be honest and open and say where you are. But where are we going? Where are we going? Or are we letting our emotions drive the car over to the shoulder and we're just going to park and sit there? We're just going to park, chill. If I waited for like, oh, I'm just so excited every single day to do anything. Oh my gosh, my family wouldn't eat. My family wouldn't eat. Mostly eating. I would never wipe anything off in my house because I don't like cleaning. The conference would not be what it is. I am having conversations and coffee chats now with national entities, organizations, foundations, U.S. Department of so-and-so about the Mamathon conference. My husband went to another state this week and was talking to someone who has roots in Alabama. And she said, I've heard of your wife's conference. I need to talk to her. This is in another state. But if I waited to feel motivated to say this is a sign to keep going, you have to create your own signs to keep going. You got to create it. I wish I could say that it just appears all the time. Sometimes God does send a red cardinal outside the window to land and say, you are my child, keep pressing forward. But a lot of times you got to just grab the word that's for your life for this season and run. Isn't that what the Bible says? Write the vision, make it plain so that the person that's running, they can continue on. I'm paraphrasing. But how many times, hey, Jamie, how many times are we sitting here and we feel like we're stuck? We're letting our negative emotions drive the car. I feel like I don't have support. Create support. Feel like I don't have people. Go find the people. The people aren't at your house. The people aren't at your house. They're somewhere else. They're at live events. They're at workshops. They're at master classes. They're at community organizations. They're other places. They are not at your house. You might have to leave to go find the next thing. That's okay. All right. But sometimes when we feel negative, overwhelmed, impatient, exhausted, burned out, all of these feelings that are very normal and happen to the best of us. Okay. We let those feelings, those negative experiences drive the car. All right. Number three. I want you to envision your goal. And then I'm using this term loosely, but like sell yourself on the vision. Okay. Here's what I mean. Whenever I feel unmotivated, whenever, Jamie, I feel like I don't know what to say to my people today, whenever I feel like I don't want to do this, whenever I have any of these feelings, happens to me because I'm a human, right? Whenever I have those feelings, I close my eyes and I envision our ballroom at the Renaissance. And I envision where my dear friend Glenn, who comes and leads worship every year, he's going to do it again this year. When he comes, that I see the women celebrating, I see them worshiping, I see these invisible bags that everybody comes in with different baggage, right? And I see visually the joy that they feel that they just made it there. They just made it there. I can see them in the room in my imagination. Now I have some years to go by that I've been seeing this now, so I have something to pull from. Okay. But if you don't have anything to pull from related to your goal, you might have to create something. You might have to draw it. You might have to write it out. I don't know what you need to do in order to make sure that it feels well balanced. But in my mind, I see the ballroom full. I see it. So that picture in my mind gives me goosebumps. Okay. That picture in my mind of seeing all of you who fly from everywhere. We have ladies that come from Texas, California, Tennessee, the Carolinas, Georgia, of course, Alabama, the DMV, and Canada that come to the Mamathon conference every single year, right? They come and we worship and we turn up, right? I can see that to the point inside. I see it to the point where I feel the physical representation of that goal in my body. Like I get chills when I think about, wow, God, I don't know what you're going to do this year, but it's going to be amazing. Somebody's going to get exactly what they've been needing. And that's got to be all you, Lord. So I got to at least do my part. I have to at least do my part, God, and show up and plan and invite and do all this stuff. Like, but because I can feel that inside of here, it pushes me to do the things that are on the list. So maybe, just maybe, you got to work on your imagination, sister friend. Maybe, just maybe, your creativity has waned. Maybe it's because of life's disappointments. Maybe your creativity has gone down because you feel like you're fixed in a box for whatever reason. Maybe your creativity isn't what it used to be. Your imagination isn't what it used to be because you've been let down before. Maybe your creativity is in the gutter now because you've let yourself down before. But I'm going to invite you today to go get your imagination back. Fall in love with the picture that God has divinely deposited right in here. Fall in love with it. See it so clearly. Because I see all of you. I see all of you guys. It's like my mind is in November, right? Because we're going to be opening the Mamathon Mastermind up again. And we're going to be, adding ladies in for that. And that's going to kick off in January. I'm already thinking about January. I'm thinking about hosting a live event for my masterminders at the beach in the spring. And I'm like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm working on that because that's going to happen too. Where's your imagination? What level is your imagination at right now that you can say, I'm already planning for 6 months ahead, 1 year ahead. I'm thinking about what Mamathon year 10 is going to look like. Can I afford Michelle Obama? Maybe not, but I'm thinking about it. Hi, Frida. I'm thinking about all of these places where I'm, okay, God, I see this happening. I see that happening. But some of us cannot stick to our goals because we've lost our imagination. We've lost our imagination. I'll go out and I'll be walking and doing whatever. And I'm like, oh, I just don't really feel like it. And in my mind and my spirit, I see over 100 beautiful Black and brown sister queens who, after they leave, they're going to change the world. Because you guys are starting nonprofits and you guys are ministering to the homeless and you guys are helping homeschoolers, and you all are running for political office, and you guys are coaching women into their success, and you're writing books, and you're speaking on national stages, and y'all lives are going to be changed. So I have to hold on to that. I have to lean so far into that imagination that it's like, oh, it's a given. It's absolutely going to happen. So because I can see it so clearly, I do everything I need to make sure what I see and hear starts to unfold on the outside. Okay? So get your imagination back. Remember that you're going to have to imagine it. You're going to have to see it. If you super spiritual, see it in the spirit. Okay, however you need to phrase it. Somebody's gonna pop in to say, I manifested. Oh, okay. However you need to describe it, to say God gave me a vision and I worked that thing out. God gave me a vision and I worked it out. I stuck with it. I committed to it. I didn't give up. One amazing lady, sister that we talked about coaching, I'm not sure if she's going to or not sometime, but her word was expansion. Like seeing everything attached to the work she's doing in an expanded way. And I was like, oh, what does expansion look like? What does bigger look like? Oh, bigger. How does that feel? What does that look like? What does bigger look like? I told a mentee yesterday, I said, sometimes bigger is getting used to seeing big numbers with your name on it. As I plan the conference, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a really big number. But I'm not afraid of big numbers like I used to be. But can we be all right with that? Can we be okay with seeing bigger, seeing expansion, seeing what the next thing is, envisioning it, and then sticking to it until we see it come to life, until the finish line? Because what will happen inevitably is we will find ourselves a little distracted. We will look for glittery object syndrome, right? We're looking for other things that will be easier. We look for things that are happening that, it feels easier on the body. It feels like ease and flow. It feels like soft life. And we chase after people and opportunities that favor that. We want to run after the soft life coach, but they don't tell you that the soft life takes hard work. You have to build it. You got to build it. They don't tell you when you want to get over burnout that you got to set boundaries, hardcore boundaries, and draw a line and say, these are the things that I'm willing to do, this is what I'm not willing to do anymore. Here's how the family needs to change and shift so that I can honor my current capacity. We don't talk about how capacity is a feeling. It's a thought. And your capacity can be unlimited. You can do everything that you come up with in your mind. You're not worn out. You're not burned out. You taking naps, girl. Stop leaning into, I just don't have the capacity for it. What if that's not true? So I think that there's a lot of propaganda that is driven behind the idea of being motivated. It's driven behind the idea of you got to feel like here's how you hype yourself up to doing it, all this stuff. And when we come to the conference, we're going to talk about the burnout cycle. Okay, we're going to talk about it because it has to be a topic that we bring in, if for no other reason than self-awareness. Where you know your own cycles, you know how you act, you know when you want to give up, you know when you take your foot off the gas. You've been able to identify when this happens, and because you do, now you can say, girl, there you go again, being toxic to your dream again. There you go, taking your foot off the gas, and you're not trying as hard anymore. You're giving up too soon. You're doing what you always do. You're giving up. You're acting entitled, like it should be easy instead of you got to work as hard as everybody else. You begin to recognize your own cycles, and say, you know what, that's not working. Here's how I need to do this differently. Here's how I'm going to tweak to make sure I follow through this time. So when your motivation exits stage left, number one, remember positivity, these feel good feelings are after effects. They come after you've done what you said you were going to do. Number two, don't let your negative feelings drive the car. Sometimes we feel like it should be easier. We feel like I should be further along. We feel like I should have accomplished this already. We shame ourselves for implementing boundaries, for feeling exhausted, for feeling overwhelmed, all these things. You're allowed to feel just like that. But don't let overwhelm drive your car. Don't let pessimism or I can't do this drive your car. You will never make it to where you are supposed to be. And then number three, revitalize your imagination. I didn't call it that when I first said it, but it came to me just now. Revitalize your imagination. You have to be able to see what God sees in here before you get to see it out here. You have to envision and see what God sees in here, before it actually shows up in real life. God spoke and then it was. You get to have an idea, just this little tiny idea. This little bit, this is all you get to have, is this inkling that you're moving in the right direction. That's it. That's all God's going to give you. And then the Bible says his word is a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path. Way back in the day, they didn't have light switches or ring lights or any of that. You just had to hold the lamp and walk down one more step. This is the same thing. Because you know that if you keep going, you're going to end up where you're supposed to be. Okay? So, in my last 2 minutes, because I have a client call, guys, here's 2 calls to action for you. Number one, the Mamathon Conference is October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. The content is amazing. The women and networking are remarkable. The live music, the food, the dancing, the workshop sessions just put it over the top with so many amazing, amazing opportunities just there in that room. I know everybody says their stuff is the best stuff. I'm not kidding. Mine really is. And it's because women like you come to the event every year and you bring your passion and your goals and your perspective and your expertise to that space. So every year it's like this living organism, an ecosystem of dynamic and brilliant women leaders who are creating something so monumental that the world really needs. And so the invitation is open to you to come and join us at the conference this year in Atlanta. We're going to feed you. We're going to teach you. You're going to have the best time ever, like, period. It's a time. And it really is just an amazing weekend for you to reset, for you to brainstorm a strategic plan, and then also to have a really good time. And so if you need details, you can just DM me or put conference in the comments, and I'll make sure that we reach out to you, okay? The second call to action in my last 90 seconds is for those of you who are building some big goals. You're excited about what God is doing, but you're like, Christina, there's more here on my plate and there's more here floating around in my mind than I feel like I have time or capacity for. Hi, Frida, I see you. I'll be reaching out to you. And you're like, I know that there are some things that I want to accomplish before the year is out. I know that there are some amazing things I want to build going into the new year, but the how is really what's getting me. I feel like I start and then I stop, I move forward and then I slide back. I feel like I'm more committed and dedicated to everybody else's stuff than my own stuff. And I know for a fact I can see great things in my imagination, but when it comes time to execute, there's some missing links, okay? So I would absolutely love to partner with you through coaching, okay? You can ask, Essence Magazine, Fox News, Red Table Talk, Yahoo Lifestyle, CNN, and Forbes. I am a amazing person to have on your team. Okay. And it's just been my absolute honor to have partnered with and worked with hundreds of moms, hundreds of women leaders before you. And I know for a fact that what we do in this community works. Okay. So if you decide that you want to work with a coach, you know, you want some expertise, knowledge, perspective outside of yourself to work on and accomplish your goals, then would you put coaching in the comments? Okay. At the moment, I am excited to take 6-month clients or to put you into our Momathon Mastermind, which will be opening up this fall again. Okay. But it's a way for you to make sure that you do what you said you're going to do. You're going to follow through. You're going to identify what's working, what's not working, and what you need to do differently to make sure that you get to your finish line. So if you want to come to the conference, put conference in the comments. And then if you're interested in partnering together, you've been thinking about how to 10x your goals and get there faster through coaching, then I invite you to send me a DM if you want to be private, or you can put coaching in the comments, okay? There's a judgment-free zone. We're not going to come down on you for past mistakes, family trauma, feeling like you're doing something that's really big, that feels bigger than you. It's a judgment-free zone. It's a place for you to brainstorm, brain dump, and then put together a strategic plan that actually works. Okay? And so we're excited to see you guys this fall in Atlanta. Send me a DM if you're interested in either one of those options. But I just want you to remember that you have everything that you need in order to make success guaranteed. Okay. Just remember, motivation might pop up after you've done some of the work. And you have to make sure that you revitalize your imagination so that every time you set a goal, you follow through. Okay. That's it for today, everybody. I got to go coach. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later.